Okay, so um, welcome everybody back to um, another episode of the Compassionate Citizen. I am Emily, one of the co-hosts, along with Kurt Roskopf. We have Marc Morrison with us today, who has. I think it's been a little while since you've been on a podcast, Marc.
Uh, yeah, it's been a while since I've had the time. Yeah, it's it's always nice to show up. It's a relaxing time of the day.
Yeah.
So
So, do you,
should we have you as the guest star, and I can ask you all kinds of questions? They will
sure.
be.
I guess if you want to. I don't know. I don't know if Kurt's going to be coming on here, but yeah, sure. If you want to,
Okay.
if you want to go that way.
In other words, uh, I know how involved you are in all of the compassionate citizen projects. Um, you are somewhat in charge of one of the committees, correct? You call the meetings, you chair the meetings, you get things done. What is your overall involvement in the meeting this that these organizations could not do without you? That's your question.
Oh boy, that's uh, um. I have to think about that for a little bit here. I mean, um, a year and a half ago, I went or 2 years ago. Um, I had um wasn't really thinking of being on a podcast, let alone like hosting one.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but um, once I um, met Kurt, that kind of changed a little bit. Kind of got me to uh, kind of got me involved with about everything that I'm involved with now. With um, the podcast, Happy Neighborhood Project, um, among all of our um, other things that we've done. Um, I know that's not eventually answering your question. Um,
Well, it does show your modesty, um, because I don't know how skilled you were. I mean, when I met you, you were when I met you, you are, I should say, you are more than competent in leading this podcast, more than competent in leading a committee that's putting the veteran event together in July. Um, More than competent that if Kurt ever decided to retire and let you run the podcast situation, you could do it. You do it anyway. So
yeah, I guess I'm not saying that
I can give
I'm not saying that I didn't think I couldn't do it. It's just I don't think had ever really um, had ever really thought of it or um, had any real huge desire to uh, actually do it at the time. um, until
Okay. Yeah.
sort of getting involved with Kurt, then I sort of changed a little bit, but um,
Okay.
so
So you were given the circumstances to show your talent, and you took it up, and now you know what you really can do.
yes, yeah, more than maybe I did before.
Okay.
Like more of the, I guess maybe more of the, more of the confidence and the, whatever else kind of goes along with um, doing it and knowing that I can do it. And
Okay. And would you say now that with all your accomplishments in this forum, that your that the people who know you now have confidence and respect for you?
what was the question? That
Okay, you heard the
everybody
question.
having respect and what?
Confidence for you and your ability.
Um, I think so. To just a good
Okay.
degree
Okay.
of it overall, I think. Yeah.
Mhm. Good. Come on. Could any of this go on if you weren't here?
Um, I mean, if it was um, meant to happen, it'll happen. Um, I don't know if it would necessarily um, know if it would happen without,
Okay.
or always happen without maybe it occurred, but I'm sure it could have maybe happened in um, maybe some form. Just it may, probably would have a, well, it would have a little um, different um, feel to it due to
Okay.
people with everybody's has their own strengths and weaknesses and
Okay.
personality and that kind of thing.
So so basically, this shows to me that you and Kurt are great partners professionally.
Yeah, I could say so.
Okay. Okay, because he's just like you. He's moving into different arenas as far as how he can, showcase his abilities and skills, and you were doing the same thing.
Hmm.
Okay. But I know that's all this is being recorded, so don't sweat too much. I'm not going to embarrass either of you. Uh, it's all going to be a good question.
No, I think.
So I never thought I'd ever do a podcast on this or until I came to HMP, and based on that, this is fun. I know it takes work. I know it takes work. It is still fun.
Yeah, but yeah, if it's fun, then you're happier, more happier to do it or put forth effort to do it.
I think without this, it's not so easy for you and or Kurt to move into other arenas. So this is your springboard, and that is just fine. Um, and in case nobody ever, without this, you, you couldn't have uh, Dr. Bliven, you couldn't have Marianne from different ports of call in Hawaii or the Southeast or LA, or ability to come on and you know showcase what they can do. And you couldn't have the other event, and you could not have this event.
Yeah, otherwise I wouldn't be the same without the
Mm-hmm.
people we've had. It'd be have a different. Yeah, gosh, still could. Oh, yeah, because if it wasn't for um, the Edwin and the Happy Neighborhood Project, um, or at least for me, I'm not sure if I would have met any of the people that I've met in the last year and a half or so, however long I've been a part of it.
Mm-hmm.
I think that contributed a little bit to the um, at least a little bit to the success of the um, podcast so far, because um, almost all of our, well, most if not all of our guests have been H&P people.
Uh-huh. We have another participant.
And Sarah's here.
No.
Sorry, I'm a little bit late, Emily. My professor decided to keep us over for a tutorial.
Oh, well done. Um, have you and Mark met before?
No, we have not.
Well, okay, so this is Marc Morrison out in California. You want to should you introduce yourselves? For what you do, who you are, what you do.
Hi, Mark. My name is Sarah Goodell, and I am a graphic designer as well as a web designer. I specialize in branding and marketing assets, as well as like book design and websites as well. And I am here helping out Emily with podcasts. And I met Emily through the Happy Neighborhood Project.
Mom, I like to play your phone. Your phone plays at 90.
Mark, would you like to introduce yourself, though?
Okay. I am Marc Morrison, and whoa, a very special.
I had to put it as 2 cents.
That's his or her reaction to my name. Maybe I should not say anything. Besides being I would say a former counselor and teacher over about 4.5 decades, and that's not necessarily betraying my age. I am a CBD advisor consultant. I do work with CBD to help people maintain physical, psychological, and overall health. Because if you are not okay in your body, you are not okay, and you cannot be happy unless you as your mind and body are fine. So I do counseling, and I do other things. I do sell. I do distribute. I guess when I met Kurt, he told me he had a podcast. I said, I've never done a podcast before. So what does it mean? He says, well, come on and see. So I did. And he invited me to a shakedown, Emily, and I laugh when I see it.
Oh boy.
And it's okay. They do really well, both of them on the shakedown. And That's when I had a chance to be reacquainted with the, and I'm going to say this the way that I mean it, the so-called disabled population. There is no disability. There's just some people that have different abilities that are greater than others. Okay, so nobody is disabled. You're only disabled if you and your mind are disabled. The disabled population, so to speak, quote unquote, are not disabled in their minds. They just have a difference in their bodies than anybody else. Um, Fortunately or unfortunately, whatever the situation is, that's how they were born. Uh, there's many circumstances to bring that about. I'm not going to discuss them here. I used to be one of their counselors. Uh, so if anybody ever says disabled to me, I say, no, 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 that's not right. Everybody's different. So, and Emily can attest to that because I think I might have taken off on one or two of their guests nicely. Nicely. I never yell and scream. I mean, I do, but not here. Um, and so very successful projects have been undertaken. And you have to note that the American Disabilities Act may be 30 something years old, but that was when I started counseling. And I'm older than the American Disabilities Act. So I know when it started and I know its reach, but it's now brought back because people are not making things equal and available. Okay. And how many suicides of veterans now, Emily? Because that's the new definition of the ADA.
I think we're up to like 37, 30 something.
37 now.
Yeah.
Do you know? Do you
One
know?
every 90 minutes.
Okay. Do you know, Sarah, that the Vietnam War was my war, so to speak? Okay, and that was the early 1970s. You can do the math; it's okay. Um, I never even got drafted because my number came up too high in New York State. However, I know people who came back scarred, psychologically more than physically, and I hope one of them is still alive in Thailand. I don't think so. Okay, so um, they as someone who went to Canada were just fine. Okay, when they were drafted, they just dropped the rifles and left, but they came back psychologically scarred because they became weekend drunks. If that's disabled, okay, okay, but they didn't kill themselves. So that's the next part of Emily's effort is to chair the committee that's going to do some of the events for the end of July. So okay, and it's closing up on about 2 o'clock.
Any questions, comments? Anything you want to talk about, Sarah?
I think I'd have to say that I definitely agree with Mr. Morrison when he says that everyone is differently abled and not disabled. I tend to use the word disabled from time to time because that's what people, apologies for my children in the background,
Yeah.
that's what people relate to most. But as a parent of 3 special needs kids, I also tend to tell them that they are differently abled and not disabled. They are different. They have to come up with how to handle situations in different tasks in different ways, but they are not in any way disabled or prevented from doing something.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
This is a brand new format for me, Emily. This StreamYard.
Yeah. We just kind of started using it in the last little bit here. So, part of it's connected with Zach Clayton. And for his podcasting and whatever. So,
Mm-hmm. Okay. Um, is this going to be united effort for July?
Yeah, yeah, because we're between us, Marcus from Transform You, and Zach. This is kind of like a collaborative effort.
Mm-hmm. Well, I hope so, because big events seem to trigger bigger personality concerns.
Yeah.
Okay, so as long as everybody's united, that's fine.
Well, I think so. Or at this point,
Well, your committee is still together, right?
We're definitely trying to hold it together.
Okay. Okay. And so there will not be any in the public discussions as to who's right and who's wrong. Everybody is going to be right. I'm going to leave the question at that. And Emily's shaking her head yes. Okay. All right.
well, yeah, we're not wanting to have the um, those big class like we did before.
Okay.
Yeah, that was. If we could not have that, that would be amazing. Always having it as bad as it got.
I saw a commercial this morning before I sign off from what's his name at the I forgot the name of the home. Um, he wears a Stetson cowboy hat,
Okay.
and he was making a commercial for uh, contributions to one cause or another for that. What is it? A halfway house or um, a um, a house where you can have peace and quiet from the world for a little bit. He wears a cowboy hat. I forgot his name.
I'm not sure if I'm for sure when you're talking about, but
Who?
yeah, I'm not sure exactly sure which one you're talking about at the moment, but
Okay. All right. It's all right. I'll find out. It was actually a good thing that he was doing. Um,
yeah, so yeah,
I think it's a veteran halfway house. I don't remember which state or which time zone right now. Okay. Anyway, I think I'd better arrange to be in that meeting in Australia, or Ian's going to have a problem.
yeah, again having a problem. This is all possible.
All right. Do me a favor, send me the link for tomorrow
Okay, can
when
do
you get
that.
a chance. Sarah,
Yep.
nice to meet you.
You too.
Sarah, you have to know that nobody can say anything but good things about Emily because she is my friend.
Absolutely. She's a wonderful person.
I'm going to leave it at that. I do not want to embarrass her. I know how modest she is. Bye bye.
All right. Um, Sarah, how is life?
Oh, not too bad. We in my class we got into a discussion about how bad the other instructor is.
Oh, jeez. That's a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Um, just for like a different section or a different or what?
It's the same class, just a different section, and our school splits it up between 4 instructors. And the one section that I'm in, section 3, the instructor is terrible. Anytime you ask him a question, he has to go ask the other instructors.
Well, that
And
really helps.
he never ever gets back to you on time, and he's just awful. So the good instructor has finally, halfway into the class, decided to adopt the other section.
Yeah, that's good. I'm guessing there are other students that will be happy about that.
I hope so.
Possibly. I don't know.
It's part of why I'm doing this. I'm going to get my teaching certificate so that I can teach people how to do design.
Yeah, be like one of those one of your instructors. And
They offer internships for instructors at my school, like as a way to like help pay for your tuition, and that's my plan once I graduate. And I'm really hoping to show him that he's terrible.
or at least maybe trying to send a hint or something. It's not directly.
Like, how about caring about your students? That'd be great.
Yeah. Yeah, always having to go ask somebody else what the answer is.
I was like, I have a previous commitment. Can we like wrap this up, please?
Jeez. Um, but
What is on the rest of the agenda for this evening, Miss Emily?
well, we are going to be meeting with. I believe we're going to be meeting with Miss Zita in an hour.
Okay.
Instead of maybe last follow up for the show in a few hours. And that's our biggest things right now. Then there's the I believe there may be a there might be a Club 100 meeting this evening as well. It starts halfway through the podcast.
If you need me to help out with Zeta's podcast so that you can go to that or anything, I'm happy to.
Yeah, we'll see how things are going.
Okay. Oh my goodness, I just realized we're still live.
well, it's probably good to promote the podcast. But also, I guess we are still working on the Hopestock fundraiser that is coming up in.
I'm going to get this flyer out to you. I don't have Mr. Gibson's logo to put on the bottom, but I am going to email him and see if I can get a copy of it so that I can put it on the bottom of the flyer. Otherwise, I can send him the flyer and he can just put it on if he wants to. But I am getting ready to export that file. I have 2 different versions that I've done. One is sort of a explanation of what you can get if you decide to be a sponsor, and the other one is just a advertisement for Hopestock.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, all the promotion and whatever we can do to promote it.
Yes. And I'm going to be getting my website back up. It's I finally figured out what the coding issue is. So I'm going to be getting that back up, and I'm going to be putting together a sort of landing page for all of the podcasts, as well as a landing page for Hopestock, just to help Brian out with some extra advertising.
Yeah, that sounds good. Did Tim ever get back to you?
No, ma'am.
It sort of sounded like Kurt said something about that Tim reached out to him, but he didn't tell me what. So I don't know what's going on. But
Well, I reached out to him on Facebook, and I hope everything's okay. He might just be busy with all of his 5 jobs, but
yeah, it's fine. That's quite a few to have at one time like that.
that's quite a few to have at one time. Yes.
So this we got it started a little later today. But this podcast is kind of all about compassion.
Mm-hmm.
The keyword being compassion. And it was inspired from a project called the Compassionate Citizen Project. To know of the guys Norland Dement, who's down in Chicago. So it's kind of inspiration from that, and about bringing more compassion to kind of every to vocal practice or kind of anything we do.
People need to know, that if we can be more compassionate toward others and treat others as we were, taught to treat others as we would like to be treated, the old kindergarten adage, I think that the world would be a brighter place. I might be a little bit of an optimist, but I think that the world would be a little better place if people had more compassion and realized that everybody's going through something behind closed doors that they know nothing about.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Hey, Emily?
Yeah.
Emily?
What?
I'm noticing that we're doing a live stream without screen sharing to
Yeah, I know. I just.
the restream.
Yeah, I know. I just saw that. I just realized that. Lovely.
Is there a way to send me the recording, Emily? Do you want to send me the recording and I can splice it together real quick?
Can you say that again? I missed it.
It was Sarah saying something about splicing it.
Is there a way to send me the recording? I can definitely splice it and get it up for you guys real quick.
Yeah, so Emily, are you going to be running the show for a bit? I mean, can you screen share for the remainder, or are you ending?
doing as
I mean,
well as
I'm puzzled why you didn't screen share. I mean,
it's just kind of the
I think she might have gotten distracted with the conversation that Mark started with her.
and just kind of with the way our conversation was going, Kurt, before this started, didn't help the situation.
I honestly came in late, but it seemed like Mr. Marcus was all over the place. So she may have gotten a little distracted by trying to keep up with everything that he was saying all at once. I know personally I kind of got distracted from his what he was talking about first, and then the conversation when she introduced me. So I could see how that could happen.
um, ambulance going by. She,
But if there's a way to send me the recording,
I think
Emily, I can definitely edit that last little bit for you and get it back to you right away.
yeah, I can send you the recording when we are done here. Can
The editing software that I
figure
use is pretty quick, so I can get it edited for you in those two areas and then get it right back to you. Since there was blank screen, is there any imagery that you would like me to add? Like, does the Compassionate Citizen podcast have a logo or some kind of word mark or anything?
Yeah, we have
I can put something up real quick if you like.
Yeah, I can send you the logo or anything else to help.
For sure. And I can put that at the beginning and then I'll put it at the end as well.
So we're good. So I guess to kind of say more on Hopestock, as well as the podcast. If anybody is interested in participating at all with either the planning or actually coming to the event, to just let us know. We are having a 48-hour kind of virtual thing going on all weekend, or that weekend of Hopestock, which would include going through the night when the actual in-person Hopestock event is not going on. And so we were wanting to have like play videos or do like a podcast or something to kind of fill the time and keep the kind of the event going or message going. So if there is anybody who is interested in being a part of that at any point in time, not just during the night, during the wee hours of the night, to let us know. We can get you sorted in for a time. And we encourage everybody to, well, thank you for everybody for tuning in. We do have 20 or 21 other podcasts besides this one. Then you encourage everybody to be guest on one or more of them. You know, and somebody wants to put in their 2 cents. Oh, and on all various topics, such as we were talking not too long ago about this one being about compassion. And then we have the one in a few hours that's about women and children. Then we also have one on veterans and military, and one on crypto and disability advocacy, among others. So we would love everybody to join us. So if anybody is interested in either coming on as a guest for one of our podcasts, or maybe a moderator of one of the podcasts, or starting their own podcast. The majority of our podcasts are people who have been on one of our podcasts and then at some point, and then they turned around and started their own podcast. So if anybody is interested in that, to let us know. I know I keep going back and forth here. But back to Hope Stack. It is a fundraiser that is meant to help combat military suicide. And
Would you mind if I add something there, Emily?
also, go right ahead.
Most people are
Mine.
familiar with the statistic that 22 veterans a day commit suicide. The truth is that that statistic is now up to 37. That means that every 90 minutes, someone who has had the courage to wear the uniform, whether combat or not, commits suicide because of something in their lives, whether that's PTSD or survivor's guilt, which is something that a lot of veterans deal with. That is 37 people too many. And we need to be doing everything that we can to help change that number. Project Die Hard is a faith-based organization that is scripture-led and veteran-owned, and they are looking to bring more people, more veterans and their families, onto Fob Rush, which is actually named after a Air Force vet. Fob Rush is a community for vets with a 10,000 square foot building and a 20-acre facility to provide therapy, services, camaraderie, and everything that veterans often miss as a result of now being in the civilian world. Hopestock is going to be a wonderful event, and we absolutely need more people to step up and help us out. Whether that's taking over some of those hosting spots, like Emily was talking about earlier, or becoming a sponsor and getting the word about your business out there and becoming partners with us and helping out Project Die Hard. This is a epidemic, really, that more people need to be made aware of. And I know Emily has been doing a wonderful job. I have only known her for a few weeks, but she's been doing a wonderful job helping out, chairing this event along with Kurt Roskopf and some of the others. And obviously, it's a event that I'm very passionate about. But I would very much like to see more people stepping up and helping out, and just coming together to help the cause. Back to you, Emily.
Oh, thank you for that. For explanation.
Absolutely.
I maybe I am sure there are other people that would like and hope that more people get involved with this as well. That it's a very important cause that we have. One of quite a few. And so for those who are interested and able, willing to help us in any capacity, that would be amazing. Just to reach out to us and let us know. You can find
How can people reach out to you, Emily, if they want to get involved?
Oh yeah, I was getting there. They can email me at emilygollmer@icloud.com. That may be the best way. Otherwise, it can call or text me at 715-303-9835. They can also contact Kurt Roskopf as well at abilitymkenow@gmail.com and at 262-372-1754. So contact us either for questions, comments, concerns, anything like that. Or Sarah, could they reach out to you, or should we just have it just between me and Kurt?
Absolutely. If more people want to get involved and they want to reach out to me, I can be reached at escadeldesign@gmail.com or 989-262-0245.
Sounds good. I think we're getting closer to being at our hour here. You could contact us at the same information. If there was something that was said on here that that either piqued your interest or had questions or anything about, contact us through that same information as well. I would like to, or we would like to make a couple special thank yous to one to Marcus Hart and the Transform Media Network for allowing us to have this podcast on their platform, as well as thanks to Zach Clayton and the Pack Channel for letting us have this on his channel as well. Want to encourage everybody to go to our social media pages and like, comment, share around to all of your social media platforms and to all of your friends, family, other contacts. We want to like to get this out there as much as far away as possible.
I'm not sure if you mentioned, Emily, if someone is interested in being on this podcast or one of the others, could they contact you at the same contact information that you listed before?
Yes. You can contact both me and Kurt in that regard about either helping out or being on a podcast as well. And hi to the little one.
So sorry about that. My little guys are a little cranky today.
He just wanted to put in his 2 cents. So
They always want to put their 2 cents. They want to be guests too.
Well, they can certainly come as guests if they'd like. Can maybe make it a little more kid friendly. If needed.
I think all in all, we're trying to all come together here and show not only the world of ability, but just that we want to see the world become a more compassionate and better place, one person at a time.
Yes, That is the goal and the hope. So I guess as we're kind of wrapping up here, I want to thank Sarah and Mark, who was here earlier, for coming on. And I guess we're here every Tuesday at 4 Eastern. So encourage everybody to tune in. If not, I guess at least tuning in to the same place, same time next week. And I guess until next week, next time, to stay healthy and stay happy.